Malaysia juga menghadapi cabaran yang agak getir. Kadar pengangguran di Malaysia adalah di paras 3.9%.
So, isu yang tak settle-settle di Malaysia lagi adalah pengangguran.
Pengangguran meningkat kepada 5.0% pada bulan April 2020.
Mustahil ke kalau kita nak lahirkan usahawan sebenar melalui pendidikan tinggi?
Kalau kita tengok artikel tentang situasi di Malaysia, ada 200,000 graduan yang tak ada kerja.
Disebabkan teknologi yang berubah, perubahan ekonomi, perubahan pemikiran generasi baru, education yang dulu tu mungkin tidak lagi bersesuaian.
Dan mengikut anjuran Jabatan Perangkaan Malaysia, pada 14 Mei 2020, kadar pengangguran dijangka akan meningkat.
A marriage, perkahwinan antara traditional learning and kemahiran. Welcome to the revolution.
Good morning. Morning, Sophie, Hamida. I just wish I know your name. Right? Morning to you too. Right? Hey, Shaban, morning. Well, it's great to see you guys again. Today, we're going to talk about strategies. All right, strategies and strategies. Everyone has a strategy. And the problem is we sometimes do not know what strategy it is, but the whole world knows your strategy. Now you're gonna ask me what's this all about. Hi Alia. All right. Hi Farah. Yeah. Oh, it's Izzati Arabic. Yeah. So I know it's Arabic. I tried to Google translate it yesterday, but I couldn't find a translation. So all right. Thanks Izzati. Good to see you, Izzati. Well, so to do strategy, and we started this week by saying we want to model. All right, model a person. And then after that, we want to talk about knowing how people's strategy actually works. And therefore, you would then develop knowing the VAK, the visual auditory kinesthetic. And then now we know how to elite. And just if you want to be the greatest salesperson, all right, it's about being able to close the deal almost immediately. Or what I say is that if you can elicit a person's buying strategy, for example, you should make your closing rate of any project right up to 80 to 90%, right? So that is the main thing that you want to be able to derive, because everyone has a strategy for everything. They have a strategy to wake up. They have a strategy to fall asleep. They have a strategy to fall in love. There's a strategy to every single thing. The only thing is, are you aware of your own strategy, so therefore you'll be able to leverage on it, and also to know the other person's strategy and you match it. Now, why is strategy so important? Hey Fatin, morning. You see, everyone has to go through a pattern to be able to do something. For example, let's take the easiest one. All right, let's take the easiest one. The strategy for you to fall asleep. Now, what do you mean the strategy to fall asleep? Now, you realize, I think when I started to say that every single human being is a creature of habit. Right? And what they're trying to do is to go through the whole entire strategy over and over again, and therefore you do not utilize your brain power. Although as much as we say we think, but those people who are working in offices, you need to realize one thing: you don't think. You basically hypnotize yourself out the whole entire day. So you're just like a robot. You go to work, you park there, You take your laptop bag out of the car, you go into your workplace, put down your laptop bags, boot up your computer, go make coffee. After that, you check your emails, and then you go, before you know it, it's 5 o'clock. And after a while, you're like, hey, what did I do in my own entire life? So if everything is wired in a strategy format, once it's a strategy format, you're just meeting it. So how we want to know that's the best strategy? Well, there's no one best strategy. The best strategy is the one that matches the person you are trying to influence. The best strategy is the one that makes the person feel most loved. That is what we are talking about. So coming back to the initial example, we have a strategy to fall asleep. Example for me, after my kids fall asleep, then the strategy will be I take my mobile phone up. I know it's a very bad strategy, but I'm telling you for a fact that I do this too. So this is the time when you last check on your emails on the bed, which is bad. Okay. Then after maybe kepo orang punya FB a little bit. Hi Danesh. Right. So you kepo post FB, look at the few things. Then I play a few puzzle games on my phone, but I normally try to limit the time before. If not, I have basically a alarm clock to remind me to go to sleep. If not, I will be playing on a game. But if I were to go through the same routine, I realize that it's easy for me to fall asleep. You see, sometimes if you change the routine a little bit, do you realize it's very hard for you to fall asleep? So the idea here is that if some strategies will work for you, some strategies won't work for you. Now, what I'm saying here is that, give you an example, customer service related, right? Now, every person who attacks people on customer service has a strategy too. I remember many years ago when I first came out and did team building for the first time in my life. First time I'm conducting 300 over people. So, I mean, graba a bit, nervous a bit, of course. No matter how much I can teach you about, managing your own emotions, I'm still a human being. And then, of course, my team was not very mature then. And along the way, there was this lady who came up and complained. She said, Adrian, your people are disorganized. Your people don't know what they're doing. Now, before that, I already heard news. So I from my people already that this lady is going to complain. So, and then they came to me and said, whatever she said, basically we have got proof, we have got evidence, we have got thing that we actually completed it. It was smooth. But the thing here is when the lady came, when she scolded me, Adrian, your people are disorganized. What would a normal human being do or expect the other person to do? There are two things. Either the person apologize or the other person justify. But do you know that this is a trap? I'm saying it is a trap. Because in her mind, basically she would be expecting me to say either apologize or to justify. If I were to do that, immediately what's going to happen is that she would take that energy and to be able to complain even more. So instead of that, what I did is I tried to break her pattern. To say, I looked at her, smiled, and I said, thank you very much. Now, I didn't say I was sorry. I said, thank you very much for your feedback. Wow. So good that you care enough to tell me, and at least I can now improve and check on every single thing. I'm so glad that you did that for me. And she stood there being blur for a while. She looked at me and blinked 3 times. And suddenly said, then I said, hey, you going for lunch right now? Hey, go enjoy your lunch, all right? And I smiled. And she just looked at me blank. And then she, after a few seconds, she smiled and she walked away. And then in the evening, she was already fine. Now, so you need to understand, human beings expect some people to respond in a certain way. So whenever you're going into negotiations as well, all right? When you're going negotiation, it's also be careful people do not trap you, right? People has a strategy in their mind to be able to trap the other person. So they expect if they do this, it's like a chessboard, right? If I expect to move my pawn here, the person is going to move here. Now, that's when you go radical, right? Yeah, it's great that you do the same thing, Hamida. Yeah, so basically that's about it. And the other thing is what I want to cover in decision-making strategies actually. It's the most important one. How does a person make a decision to buy something? That's a very, very important strategy that I always believe that you need to elicit in all your buyers. No, so what you can do as a tip is that whenever you go and see a person, let's say you're doing a person, say it's either B2B or B2C, whichever way it is. Human beings, more or less, they cannot run away from a particular structure how they work anyways, right? So I would normally have a chat with them. I don't go straight into business. I will look around the room and then I will say, hey, oh, if it's a lady, I will most probably pick up a handbag. Oh, it's a nice handbag. How did you know when you buy the last handbag? Well, she said, well, I thought I needed a handbag. Okay. So did you buy immediately from the store? How did you go? Do you go online first or do you go shopping first or how is it? Then I asked them to tell me the story. So some people will say, oh, I went online, I went in, I said, okay, so how many websites do you go to? Oh, about 2 to 3. Then after that, do you buy immediately? No. I cannot. I need to go down to the shop. So I got the idea in my head. All right. So I go to the shop and then I said, do you know which shop do you go to? Not really. I went into a shop. Then what do you do? Well, I browse around, I look around. Then I saw something that I like, so I picked it up. Then I said to myself, well, maybe this is not the right one. Then after that, I'll put it down. Then how many shops do you go through? After that, maybe 2 to 3. You do the same pattern? Yep. Do you buy immediately after that? Well, normally I would have to go back and ask my husband or somebody else for an opinion. I see. So if I'm going to now check what we call by a TOT model, test, operate, test, exit. Let's say if I give you this item and you need a casing for your earphones, for example. All right, I know you won't buy immediately. Let me show you some visuals of it, some pictures. Now, would you like to look at it? Well, yep, okay, can you hold it? So what do you say? They said, well, yes and no. I said, what if I give you 3? Right? After giving you 3, I said, now I've got Hamida there, and Hamida saying to you, hey, I think this is pretty useful for you. Can you buy? Chances are they will say yes. You see, what's going to happen here is this. I'll give you a story of a friend of mine who went for an NLP class, same NLP class as me. I sat for at least 4 NLP classes before really training because I always believe in honing my skills. And this girl, basically, what she did was she wanted to buy an iPad, and she went to she wanted to buy an iPad, and she really wanted an iPad. But do you know that she went to the Apple store or the Mac, I don't know what, Mac City, they call it Mac City, yep, for at least 12 times, and she didn't buy the iPad. Each time she goes in, she will pick up the iPad, play with it, and then she walks away. She plays with it, walks away. And she will go back every 2-3 days once. She will go back and play with it and walk away. And people said, what do you mean? You went to 12 times and you don't buy it? And what was the different thing that happened when you bought it the last time? Well, somebody came and talked to me like, wow. So basically, when people have to go through the same strategy process until there's an interruption to make that decision. And that is the key point. Like the earlier example that I gave you is that basically this person is repeating the strategy. If not for the husband going home to tell her that, hey, you need to buy this, I won't buy. So then whenever I deal with a person, I would have to bring a partner along. A partner wherein which that, you see, I will do the pitch. I know the person's numerical convincer is 3. Sufi say I'll comment, but not very good English. Tak apalah, bahasa Melayu pun boleh. I faham, tapi I tak fasih tu. Alright, yalah comment je. Alright, so basically what we need to know is once I have the partner, I will do the presentation, and I know the person's numerical convincer is 3. What is numerical convincer? Numerical convincer is how many times must you see, hear, or touch something before you are convinced. Most human beings in the market is at least 3. That is why if you have looked at what's his name, Steve Jobs. Yes, Steve Jobs. He was said to be the world's one of the best presenters in the world. And what I did was when I've been watching his videos, and whatever important points that he wants to make, he repeats it 3 times. It's called the power of 3. I look so cute. Okay, when I speak Bahasa, okay lah. Shy. Never mind. I will learn how to speak more Bahasa. Okay. All right. So whatever it is, we need to have the power of 3. Now, when we say power of 3, it doesn't mean that you have to repeat it 3 times at one go. In every influencer or in every negotiation process, what we normally do is that we will repeat important points 3 times. At the top, at the center, at the end. And most of the time when we say it, we'll come back maybe Thursday or Friday, I will cover embedded commands. How do you actually say something or command a person to do something without the person knowing it? Well, all the strategies are very simple. Yeah, Steve Jobs are very, very simple. The only thing is, kadang-kadang we feel that we need to do something so exorbitant in order for us to sell. Yeah, I'm going to end very soon with this, but come to think of it again. Do you realize that sometimes business is actually quite easy to do, but it's us who wants to do the business that makes it difficult? I repeat again. Business are easy to do. It's just that we make it difficult. Because why? One day we're going to cover, tomorrow I'm going to talk about how to manage your finances first. Then after that, what I want to continue doing here is that beware of our own rules of our life. Now, there are so many rules that we actually have created for ourselves in order for us to launch a business out. To me, here is, I love what Anthony Robbins used to teach. Anything is possible, just take massive action. The most of the time, people don't take massive action. They say, in order for me to take action, this needs to happen. In order for me to do that, this needs to happen. So ultimately, you're waiting for conditions to happen before you take actions. But let's face it, we can never be 100% prepared, correct? No business owners or successful entrepreneurs, when they say they got a 10-year plan, their 10-year plan will always come to pass. Basically, as they take the first step, they learn and they evolve. They learn and they evolve. All right. Business are easy to do, but we make. Yep, that's right. That's what I said it. Always remember that. Don't set the rules. Just do it. Like what Nike says, right? Because we always say, nanti I cuba lah, I cuba ini, cuba itu, but try. Or the word cuba is excuse for failure. I mean, if I'm holding a pen, if I drop the pen, that's dropping the pen. I succeeded. I cuba drop the pen. I tried to drop the pen. It's trying to do this. I'm still holding on the pen, but I'm not doing it. So that's what it is. It's what we want to take 5 steps forward, but we are not. We take 1 step, ready. We turn around and say, "Oh no, let's reevaluate our plans." See, sometimes that's why I say, perhaps it's my characteristics is that I don't like, when I want to grow a business or start a business, I like to go alone first. Because why? When I have a team, sometimes I feel that we spend too much time talking and having meetings after meetings, when to me, it's until you take the first step, you won't know. It's like crossing a river where you cannot see the river. People would, when I do team building, when we cross a river, the group would sit there half an hour to plan how to cross the river. I say, hey, we don't even know how deep the river is. Let's take a step into the river. And if it's too deep, but of course, you guys hold on to me. If it's too deep, we'll come back out and we discuss again. But if you're not even trying to take the first step, you'll never be able to move it. All right? Oh, God, Sufi, just and don't try your best, right? So, well, we will do our best and nak start berniaga tu susah tapi cuba best. Okay, boleh lah. Cuba dulu. All right? So, that's all from from me today, and tomorrow we'll talk about managing finances, and then we'll go on and talk about rules of life. Right, till tomorrow, see you again. Cheers, bye.
Malaysia juga menghadapi cabaran yang agak getir. Kadar pengangguran di Malaysia adalah di paras 3.9%.
So, isu yang tak settle-settle di Malaysia lagi adalah pengangguran.
Pengangguran meningkat kepada 5.0% pada bulan April 2020.
Mustahil ke kalau kita nak lahirkan usahawan sebenar melalui pendidikan tinggi?
Kalau kita tengok artikel tentang situasi di Malaysia, ada 200,000 graduan yang tak ada kerja.
Disebabkan teknologi yang berubah, perubahan ekonomi, perubahan pemikiran generasi baru, education yang dulu tu mungkin tidak lagi bersesuaian.
Dan mengikut anjuran Jabatan Perangkaan Malaysia pada 14 Mei 2020, kadar pengangguran dijangka akan meningkat.
A marriage, perkahwinan antara traditional learning and kemahiran. Welcome to the revolution.